The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Power Trading Hour with your host, David White. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now, David White.
And welcome all to another excellent edition of the Power Trading Hour. And it doesn't matter where you're at. You could be in Poughkeepsie, in Lutz, Florida. You could be in Tallahassee. You could be on all the free cities of Florida, as long as you're here with us at this time.
The following takes place between 2 p.m. and 3 p.m.
So what do we have? Well, kind of like I said yesterday, I was looking more for kind of a trench warfare going on until for at least the next few days. Up 5 points in the S&P cash, up 159 in the Dow. I think that's more to do with anything than optimism of more government spending, but not much happening there. Crude oil's up $2, kind of a nice little bounce back. Nasdaq's off 75, but that's kind of light and variable. That's kind of the big mover today. Earlier in my newsletter, I said basically the most important things to watch today here are the TLT and the dollar. The TLT, which is, of course, the 10, 20-year bond ETF, 146.80 off 45 cents, but certainly looks like it blew. We had that final nail in the coffin on higher interest rates, at least for what the street thinks. My guess is that we're going to continue to slowly start moving down here in a bigger, longer trend of higher interest rates. It may not be, it may take a year to get things going, but there's nothing like bonds when they're trending. They just seem to go on and on and on, ad nauseum, yada, 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 on and on. Anyway, I'll try to be a little less annoying as we go further on today. Anyway, that was the one thing that I thought was interesting. And of course, the other thing is the dollar index. I think the Fed and the Treasury Department doesn't want it going up much higher than this, but certainly I think they want to try to pin the dollar around this area at least until everything settles down. 93.08 is the last tick. Got to 93.14 earlier in the day. But a good way of just looking over the bigger macro pressures on the market. But those are the two I think we should be watching now. And, of course, gold fell. My belief is it fell on a few things, but mostly on people thinking of higher interest rates and pushing gold down. Would think I had a lot of people email me over the last couple of days on GLD. Would think that you've got two nice gaps. We talked about this yesterday. About 75% chance you get a third gap down. And you'd like to have something that was probably about as much in the way that we had between the 6th and the 9th. Is that right? 6th and the 9th? Yeah, 6th and the 9th. 7th and the 8th were Saturday and Sunday. So, does it generally these three gap plays, which is what this is starting to look like, has one last gasp down. Everybody just wants to have nothing to do with it, and that's generally where the buy is. It's not 100% that you get, but it's pretty good. You got two gaps down. You're looking probably 75 to 80% of the time of a third gap down that is fairly significant. And of course, you had a really big one. You had one that was about 3/4 of that yesterday. Now what you're looking for is one that's probably pretty close to the size of yesterday. And then that's it. It may be just a little bit less. And then that just shows you that the energies all come out of that side. But I'd be watching for that third gap. I wouldn't be doing anything in front of that. Now, does that mean you're probably 1 out of 4 times, or probably 1 out of 4 times going to miss a move? It is, but generally you get stopped out so quick it's hard to come back in. You're better off waiting for that 75% chance than taking a flyer on the 25% chance that it just starts going up. Now, not looking bad here, but man, I like that double bottom and a lot of other stuff going on here at the, let's clean this up a little bit so you can see it, at that about 150, well, I'm going to call it 157, 157.50 area. It would be nice if you gap down and just wash everybody out to the 157 area on the GLD. I know if you're long and hanging on, you're probably not going to like that. But if you've been waiting to get back into gold, not a bad looking pattern. You just have so much energy right now in this leg. I don't think it's going to instantly turn around for you. 157.13, that's the candle you can get into, or the one from what is that, March 31st, at about 10 million shares. That was pretty good move up, but that'd be like 158-ish on that one. Do you have to literally go back and hit the 157? No. Ideally, you just have, like 3 or 4 million shares back into that, either one of those candles, and just the selling all just dries up. But we'll see. Give me a call today, 877-927-6648. You can email me at path@tfnn.com. I'm thinking that we will break out of this trading range. It's going to be probably a little bit tough to sit through. Don't try to do things that keep you engaged, but don't wear you out, because that's generally what the market's all about. It's about getting you all worn out before the real money starts presenting itself. I think that's probably going to happen. I think we're going lower. But at this point, it doesn't really matter. I could be proved wrong, go the other way. But no one likes light volume at near record or at record highs. Never a really good sign in the market to see that. Again, give me a call, 877-927-6648. First question of the day before we get into history, which we'll do that when we return, is AMD. Dave, you talked about hitting 105. That's kind of in here. I think you got some time. 105 is probably a good area to be in. You got to 104.36 on AMD today. What you don't want to do is see this thing start rallying up to 110 and then pull back down underneath that. That would be a double repo pattern, and that would take you back to about 91. What you'd like this to do is just go sideways for 4 or 5 days around that 105 to 107 area and pour everybody out. If you don't see a lot of selling or distribution at that level, probably a good time to get in. I don't hear anything in the background. Break.
Are you grinding in the market, but seeing little to no return? Or are you a successful trader, simply looking to make your job a little easier? Learn to take the path of least resistance with David White's powerful trading newsletter. David White is an accomplished trader whose deep understanding of technology and the markets allows him to consistently find and share winning trades. Support and resistance define the ranges in which stocks trade. By understanding these trading ranges, David White is able to find the path of least resistance. David White's trading newsletter, The Path of Least Resistance, is delivered daily before the markets open to make every trading day an easy win. Visit TFNN.com today and subscribe to David White's Ultimate Trading Newsletter for $119 a month. And try all of our newsletters risk-free with our 30-day money-back guarantee. Take the path of least resistance at TFNN, educating investors.
What's separating you from the most successful men and women on Wall Street? That's right, information. Having all the information gives us the perspective we need to place the right trades at the right time. The TAS Profile Scanner is the premier market profile-based scanner. Powered by its acclaimed TAS proprietary algorithms, this feature-rich scanner instantly filters over 2,500 plus global financial markets, such as stocks, ETFs, commodities, futures, and Forex. This powerful suite of tools leverages instant trade filtering and strategy formulation to show you emerging trades before they happen. For a limited time, you can save $100 off your first month by using the promo code UPGRADE, and you still get a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. Level the playing field with the TAS Profile Scanner, which you can find under the Services tab at TFNN.com. Sign up today.
Sharpening your skills as an investor is like getting better at playing a musical instrument. You have to practice, sure, but you also need excellent instruction from experts. At TFNN, you'll get advice and guidance from the authority in technical market analysis. And it's not just dry, tedious text either. TFNN airs live financial content streamed live on TFNN.com and TFNN's YouTube channel with Tiger TV, live every market day from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern. For free. Each host is an experienced trader and gives their take on the market while taking calls and questions live from around the world. From the moment the market opens until the closing bell sounds, Tiger TV has 8 different shows with expert hosts to help you make the right moves with your money. Watch online at TFNN.com or on TFNN's YouTube channel and become the investor you were born to be. TFNN, educating investors.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-873-7618.
And we're back. Just going through the email here and the associated questions. Of course, you can give me a call at 877-927-6648. And what's going on here? Wanted to start looking at the axis of evil stocks, as I like to start discussing them. I had some questions about those. So Fascist Book, if you don't understand that I don't like these companies and what they're doing to the society as a whole, then you'll get the drift. Facebook, really just been going sideways here. This is the double repo pattern. You need this thing to start moving higher. If not, this is not one of the big ones that's going to lose. But it would suggest on a longer period of time that you might be able to come back to like 335, 331 in this area. So there's some out here that would, from now, have a bigger loss, especially by percentages. These guys have been able to make money no matter what. But the pattern for them to dance down maybe $20 fairly quickly would be any close below the 3x3 displaced moving average or a 9-day moving average anytime soon. Google, also axis of weasels. This one doesn't have any sign other than incredibly light volume as it goes back into the previous highs. 2765.94 with 4.75 million shares back on July 28th. You're back into that candle today with 623,000 shares. So as I'm saying, this is not that big a deal. What I would love is you've got 2 nice gaps here at the top. What I would love to see is one more gap with no volume if you wanted to short the thing. Again, there are a lot easier shorts out here, but if you're looking for a potential pattern up here to short Google, you would want that 3-gap play. That is 3 big gaps kind of in a row, and you can see them here, the first 2. you get one more with no volume and they run all the shorts out, that would be the only time that I think I would short it. As I said, much better shorts in the rest of the market. Okay. Okay, go through some other ones. Okay, what's happening on Apple? Again, we've just kind of gone into a triangle formation for Apple. It's down a little bit more, but for me, this is the kind of pattern that normally signals distribution. And I think a lot of people are thinking that it may have gotten as good as it can get, that without a lot more free money from the government, a lot of people that updated over the last year are not going to update their phones to 5G, even though that's what everybody on the street is telling you. Okay. And like I said, all you have is really slightly lower highs and slightly higher lows as this goes out sideways. So as I'm a big fan of doing, I don't want to be predicting which way this thing will break out, but fade the way that it does break out of this pattern. If you have a big gap down, generally you want to buy it after a day or two maybe. And if you gap higher, especially if you don't have any volume, generally that's when you want to short it. But generally they want to run all the shorts out. The biggest problem I have with shorting Apple is everybody wants to short it. So my guess is when this does break, they'll run all the shorts out, and that would be the only time that I would short this. Could it pull back? Yeah, fairly significantly. But at the moment, and by significantly, I mean 20 bucks. But you know what? There's nothing here to say that you should act on that. We can look forward. John in Philly, how you doing today?
Hello, David. I'm always interested in your take on Facebook, and I like your nickname, Google, Apple, and the like. And having done so, I'd like to ask if you could switch topics for me and give me some feedback, please, on some steel names. Specifically, it was back on Wednesday the 21st, I gave you a ring on your show and asked you about a package of names. Steels were amongst them. That was a group of stocks that had sold off hard into Monday the 19th and then abruptly reversed, and I was calling and asking you for your input with your tools about the potential that those July 19th spike lows were possibly good bottoms. So that was Wednesday the 21st. The next day, the 22nd, I bought a package of names, including Nucor, NUE, and Steel Dynamics, STLD. And those have rallied since, and in fact, those particular two names are making new highs here. So I wanted to ask you the SLX, that ETF, kind of generally, but if you could look at Nucor and Steel Dynamics and just share with me if there's anything in your work that suggests these surges into new high ground are likely to fail. I'm kind of getting poised to answer for myself the question, should we be, or should I be booking gains, or should I let this ride?
The biggest problem I have with these is they just don't move that much. I mean, you do have a 10% move here off the low. But that's the biggest problem I have is that, you are breaking above in Steel Dynamics today with 2.6 million shares going into a 3.2 million share high. So are you going to get 3.2? Yeah. You're going to get 3.5 probably. Maybe there's more volume that comes in before the close. But it's, I don't know. It just seems to be going to be a slow slog and not really a fast mover. So we'll see. Now, if it comes back at this point, closes back under 66.88, my guess would be that this was a false breakout. But we'll see what the volume is by the end of the day. The SLX, not quite through the previous high. It also has fairly large, low volume. You're looking for about 500,000 shares today on it. Got a little under 300,000 shares right now. But it hasn't broken that high that you go back to on May 10th. What was Nucor symbol?
NUE.
Now you're breaking out with this one. You need 8 million shares today. Got about 6 million shares now. So, you're not going to have, unless maybe something changes, you're not going to have blowout volume. You're going to have okay volume in these. I'm just wondering how high do you think these things are going? They just, again, it kind of moves in kind of short steps. We'll be back in a minute.
Are you having fun trading the markets but having trouble finding like-minded individuals to discuss your trading and investment ideas with? Become an apex predator in the trading markets and join the Tiger's Den Trading Room only at TFNN.com. The Tiger's Den is an exclusive trading room where successful traders from around the world come to exchange trades and ideas. Join the den and surround yourself with the sharpest minds in the trading world. Subscribers to the Tiger's Den are also the first to have their questions answered live on air and can privately chat with our TFNN hosts live during their shows. Interact with other Tigers and Tigresses as they share trading ideas, news analysis, and discuss the market action all trading day. Subscribe to the Tiger's Den risk-free with our 30-day money-back guarantee and become part of the TFNN trading community. TFNN, educating investors.
You could be making money off the stock market. And if you're already making money off the stock market, you could be making a lot more. Check out TFNN and Tiger TV and get expert investing advice to give you the power to control your financial future. Go to TFNN.com and find the newsletter for you. Whether you're into trading gold, metals, futures, currencies, or options, you'll get advice and analysis to help you seriously get ahead. TFNN also features trading services with a 30-day money-back guarantee for new subscribers, as well as TFNN's Tiger Den Trading Room, trading software, and educational webinars for all trading levels. And make sure you check out Tiger TV for free on TFNN.com or TFNN's YouTube channel for live financial content from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern on market days. Stop watching on the sidelines while other people get rich and become the investor you were born to be. TFNN, educating investors.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABCs, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
This segment is brought to you by Thinkorswim. For more information, just click the Thinkorswim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
And we're back. Should still be on the line with John.
Yes, sir, David. Thanks so much for reviewing Nucor, Steel Dynamics, and SLX. I just wanted to pose a follow-up question that I'll state quickly and then take your commentary offline. And that is, I'm observing today amongst some software names, Microsoft, Adobe, DocuSign, Avalara, are reversing, having done and traced out very extended rallies. My question to you, is there anything in your work that suggests this action, and those four names and others, kind of like it, is this action pivotal according to things you see, possibly indicating some important tradable high? But thanks for addressing that, and appreciate your time, sir.
Okay. Microsoft just looks tired out here, like a lot of these. Like I said, Apple, same kind of thing. You really just have been going sideways for about 2 weeks. And why there's not a lot of volume today, it really just looks like these are tired and ready for some kind of pullback. So, on Microsoft, if we just looked at a standard retracement, 271 would be the 382, and 265 would be the 50%. And, somewhere between those, probably what you could easily get on Microsoft, and that would just be a pullback in a rally. But almost all of these have been going up almost in a straight line, semi-ballistically for a while. I can't remember which the other ones you asked for. Was it Workday? Can't remember. Remember Microsoft. Maybe it wasn't Workday. But I do not remember. A lot of these are just going sideways. Oh, Docu. Thank you. DOCU. A lot of these have been going up. And like I said, these things, they're at the point now where if they close lower, they're probably setting up for some decent retracements. And, 264-ish, 263-ish for DocuSign would just be a 382 retracement, and that wouldn't be anything special. Could you get back to the 200 levels on some of these? Yeah, but things would probably have to change. But I think what we're looking for is just a 382 retracement, and people will actually believe that it's the end of the world. We may get bigger, but at some point you're going to get a retracement. And these runs have just been so incredibly long and positive to the upside. At some point you run out of new buyers or people that are scared to buy the top, and you need a retracement to start everything all over again and get some price discovery. And I think that's what we're really looking at out here, is looking for just a little price discovery to the downside. Now, of course, August light volume, these things could be rather quick and abrupt in the light volume, but maybe that's what gets us all set up. And of course, the next 2 months generally have a bearish bias. Into September, you really start getting the positions on from the street where they want to run them up into the end of the year. So we'll see that, but it's very tough to see anything other than what looks like distribution at a fairly ground scale in almost all of these stocks that have had huge runs higher. Okay, what else do we have out here? We looked at AMD. You did get to the 105 we were looking at, 107.64 right now. Question about the SMHs from Sam. Doesn't really say. Oh, I see what you're talking about. Okay, let's turn that off so we can zoom in. This is you really have a decent close underneath today. Volume is picking up over the last 2 days. This takes you to the high of July 14th. You're basically at that candle for support. Just very tough for me to see a great deal. I think AMD led the semis, or is leading the semis down. We're probably going to see a few of these other ones reverse and at least get some level of pullback. But AMD probably looks the best, but you just need a very tight stop. I wouldn't want to see another close below 105 on AMD. Okay, but in the semis, you're down. Volume's picking up. We'll see what it is by the close today. But, if you start seeing something like You got about 2.5 now. You end up with like 4 million shares by the end of the day, and a close below 263.86. That is very problematic. You may have to wait for that tomorrow. Right now, 264.67. Okay, what else do we have out here? Okay, question about Micron. As I said, certainly looks like a lot of these things, people were just buying them over and over again, expecting a different result. You've got a fairly decent down day in Micron. I think, like I said, the rest of the SMHs are probably going to follow same kind of maybe a 10% real quick pop to the downside like Micron. We talked about how many companies were front buying Micron technology over the last couple of quarters just to make sure that they didn't run out, which means that they don't need to buy a lot more now. And in the old days, it would be called stuffing the channel, but it wasn't Micron doing it. It was the manufacturers making sure that they wouldn't run out again this year. So big day, lots of volume. You got 30 million shares, 31 million shares already in Micron. That's giving you a fairly big signal. As we've been showing, you cross below the 3x3 generally. You get a big candle with lots of volume. In no way is that a positive signal. And generally, at best, you can hope for a consolidation at the bottom and maybe a retest and maybe a break of the previous one. Other to semis out here. Intel really didn't do well on earnings. Another one that's just been going sideways, but this one's actually sideways at the bottom. This is a company that if they decided to aim what they have correctly, could actually be a monster. It just doesn't look from the outside of the company. I wouldn't be short them now, but they've got some very interesting technologies. It just seems like they can't execute whatsoever. And of course, AMD really took its rocket ride higher on them going after Intel's server business, which is monster levels of profit. And you know what? AMD's making some inroads there. Maybe justifying the really high price of AMD. When we come back, we'll look at NVIDIA.
Are you in the market for buying or selling real estate in the Bay Area, including the surrounding St. Petersburg, Tampa, and Clearwater markets? Tiger Real Estate LLC is a firm that has extensive experience in the Tampa Bay area. Whether you're looking to sell your current property for maximum value, or you're in the market for a second home or investment property, Tiger Realty has the experience across all areas of real estate in the Tampa Bay area to help buyers and sellers make the most informed decisions across all price levels. From the price you should be paying per square foot in certain up-and-coming areas to the type of cash flow investment properties are capable of creating, Tiger Real Estate can help you make the best decision when it comes to all areas of the market. Before you make one of the biggest decisions of your financial future, call Tiger Real Estate LLC today at 727-329-8322 or email us at tiger@tfnn.com. That's 727-329-8322. Call us today.
The technology around us is changing every day. With so much happening, it can seem impossible to keep up with all the information. David White's investment newsletter, The Technology Insider, is designed to give you all the information you need to understand the technology that shapes today's markets and tomorrow's future. David White has made his living staying on the cutting edge of technology. His weekly newsletter will give you specific recommendations for value tech stocks, as well as entry prices, target prices, and stops to set for each trade. Dave delivers his weekly newsletters every Friday with updates throughout the week. You can get the Technology Insider at TFNN.com for only $37.50. Sign up for David's newsletter, The Technology Insider, and get an inside look at everything the technology sector has to offer. Try it risk-free today with our 30-day money-back guarantee. TFNN, educating investors.
Are China A shares hot or not? If you trade China A shares, now may be time to take a closer look. Trade CHAU or CHAD, Directions Daily CSI 300 China A Share Bull and Bear ETFs. China A shares in either direction. Visit directioninvestments.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV.
And we are back. Question about DDD. My question, and I didn't know the answer and why I didn't play it going in. The future's fairly bright for these 3D printer type companies, both SSYS and DDD. Let's take a SSYD or SSYS. It's got a little gap up on it. It almost always has earnings a day after this. So let's see if I've got a earnings date for SSYS. It's Thursday, August 5th. Oh, so last week. Okay, so I missed it. That was probably the gap higher in it. The question that you've got to answer yourself is not whether or not they can sell their stuff. It is the same question I have with NVIDIA, which we'll get to in a minute. And that is, can they get two things? And it just so happens that since I was in this business, not in the 3D printer business, but moving things accurately around for movies, basically cameras, there's two devices that these guys have to get a hold of. Actually, a couple more. But for the most part, this thing right here that I'm holding up here is a stepper motor. And what it does is you can put power to it and accurately move it a set degree around in a circle. And it just goes around forever, kind of like a motor. But the difference is you can say, move this 10 degrees, move this 7 degrees, move it 20 degrees, move it back and forth. And these printers are constantly attached with these motors into a thing called an Acme thread screw, which is right here. Just happen to have this stuff laying around. Now, all of it's made. Both of these things are really made in China. Some of these can be cheap, like this one I think is probably a $15 motor, maybe a $10 motor. It's all about how much you're willing to pay to get those, how accurate they can get. Same thing with this Acme thread. It's kind of like a regular bolt, but regular bolts are designed, the threads are cut so that they don't come undone. And these are made so that you can, things that sit on them like a nut move very smoothly and easily back and forth on them. Anyway, the things that you have to have that they can't get here in the United States because they're made so much cheaper in China and overseas are these stepper motors. The company's out of business without them. And the things you have to look at is whether or not these guys run into resistance someday against China and they cut these stepper motors off. These motors and other motors are the key to everything from bombs, because you have the same kind of thing in laser-guided bombs, neodymium magnets that are in these things, depending at the high end. A lot of these motors can sell for, at very large sizes, $1,000, $2,000 a piece. This one's about the tiniest, cheapest one you can actually buy. But it is the supply chain that you have to worry about. And as long as you can figure out that the supply chain is good and doesn't get us cut off, but just know going forward, if it can get the parts it needs, these companies are long-term very good. Short-term, they're at the whim of China. Same thing with Tesla. Everything's banked on selling a lot of cars in China, which I don't believe is going to happen. If a company went up against, from China went up against 3D Systems and SSYS, Stratasys, there would be a lot of problems if China decided to just cut off parts when they decided to. And again, this goes into a lot of technology we have in the U.S. It is sensitive to geopolitical pressures based on what China wants to do. So watch the news, keep an idea out there of what's happening. Know that anything out here that is China sensitive could have one day a big move. This thing moves so well that if you could buy puts and calls, depending on what you want to do with this thing, that is what I want to be doing. They're probably more expensive than it's worth, but you know what? If you're going along this thing, I'd buy some just real cheap, way out of the money puts, maybe 50 cents or something like that for, 20s or something, in case something really bad happens, maybe, 20, 30, 40% down of the current price in case this thing blows up. But, this thing moves so well, I think it's kind of a small price to pay for insurance in case anything happens. But that would be it. That would be my only caveat. Good positions out here. This is a company, 3D Systems, more like Amazon in that it did very well out of the gate, then blew up and went sideways for a number of years. And now, especially with trade issues, is the good part, because they make machines that make things that you could only get made in China, probably at a cheap price. You can make them yourself with their machines. So I like the business. I like the chart. I dislike the geopolitical angle and would love, if I was going to take a position, take it in puts or calls. And then if I wanted to do the equity and be a long-term holder, just buy way out of the money puts on the thing and know that if it blows up overnight, you've got a lot of downside protection. But interesting. Probably the most interesting thing about this company is that I made so much money on it before this. I think I bought it, I forget now, it's been 100 years ago. I think I bought it at like 10 or 15 bucks or something. I rode it to like 70 or 75. And then the CEO would be on CNBC 3-4 times a week. This guy was on it every time I turned on the TV, he was on. And of course, it went up the last, 20, 25 bucks or so. And then that was the high in it. In fact, if we go back here, let's go back a number of years, probably pointed out. But I got out of it and I shorted it at, is it longer here? How many years ago has it been? Oh, they have a 2-for-1 split or something. Maybe there. Nope, there it is. Found it. I remembered I shorted this thing at 96 bucks and made, 3/4 of it on the way back down. We made a lot of money on the way up, a lot of money on the way down. I haven't really played it lately. I saw a good entry and I missed it, mostly because I think it went sideways for about 5 days. It should have just sat on my hand a little longer. But a good stock, good pattern, good long term, highly sensitive to its supply chain. That's the one thing that is going to be the unknown in this, and Stratasys.
Sharpening your skills as an investor is like getting better at playing a musical instrument. You have to practice, sure, but you also need excellent instruction from experts. At TFNN, you'll get advice and guidance from the authority in technical market analysis. And it's not just dry, tedious text either. TFNN airs live financial content streamed live on TFNN.com and TFNN's YouTube channel with Tiger TV, live every market day from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern, for free. Each host is an experienced trader and gives their take on the market while taking calls and questions live from around the world. From the moment the market opens until the closing bell sounds, Tiger TV has 8 different shows with expert hosts to help you make the right moves with your money. Watch online at TFNN.com or on TFNN's YouTube channel and become the investor you were born to be. TFNN, educating investors.
Markets can rise and fall like the tides. Subscribe to Basil Chapman's newsletter, The Opening Call, and you too can ride the wave. Basil Chapman is an authority in technical analysis. His Chapman Wave trading system has been helping traders identify trends and capitalize on momentum in the markets since 1984. TFNN invites you to test Basil's proprietary Chapman Wave trading methodology with a monthly subscription to the Opening Call newsletter for only $149. Your subscription to the Opening Call comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee, as well as daily market updates on key indexes, stocks, and commodities. Ride the wave! Sign up for the Opening Call risk-free today.
Introducing Primal Edge.
Today, it's even more important to take a supplement that complements your health. Primal Edge is specifically formulated to boost your immune system and help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Our early ancestors found all their nutritional requirements in the wild environment. But today, our food sources don't contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients that we need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, soil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated humic and fulvic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They've been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, without them, life cannot exist.
That's right, Ellen. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge. Just $89 exclusively at TFNN.com.
Catch Tom O'Brien, professional trader and educator, founder of TFNN. Also, a special guest on CNBC. Tom will bisect and dissect the markets. The Tom O'Brien Show, next on TFNN.
I didn't move stuff around, and that's not good. Okay, yeah, eventually I'll get this fixed one day. But it seems to be kind of a low priority, since you can just move it around and fix it. Anyway, big news out here. Semis for Micron down, AMD up off its lows. But again, I suspect we're probably going to see a lot of these move back over the next week or two. Why everybody's discounting the supply chain problem in semis. Everywhere I look, it just gets worse. Went into Best Buy again. They're out of so many different things, which can't be good for all the companies that supply them. But it is kind of interesting to see just how much or how big the shortages are in a lot of stuff. Last year it was webcams. This year it's everything. Hard drives. Just go into one of their stores. No video cards. Not a whole lot of stuff. They've got some PCs that I would never want to buy, but I guess would be okay at a minimal level. But if you want something good, if it's a hot product, it is still tough to get, and it's just as big of a supply problem as it is a demand problem. We need to be watching that going forward. And what else we have out here? Got one question. If I can take a look at Snap before the end of the day, we'll try to get to that. Yeah, you're just going sideways up here. I would say that if I was long this, I'd want to try to see if I could buy it back at about 67.50, but really just going sideways out here. They continue to do well because Facebook continues to engage themselves in activities that are problematic. So when you can, not when you have to. We will return tomorrow, like Pat. Same bat channel, same bat time.